Hello, welcome to my channel. The channel is so new that I don't even have a name for the channel. I don't have all the fluff. All of that will come later. I just saw a show that I absolutely loved and I wanted to do a review because guess what? I thought my voice was pretty important. So the show is I May Destroy You, and so unfortunately we're starting with season 1 episode 3. So season 1 episode 3 opens with Arabella in Italy. She is there on an all expense paid trip from her writing company. She's there to be inspired. She's there to write. Then we see she gets a text from Terry, her friend, roommate, I think, who is coming to meet her. So let's talk about Terry. In episode 2, remember Terry had that awkward casting call, and she said, they asked her the wildest thing she did. She said, let me think about it. She said, I had a threesome. So let's keep that in mind. And then also when Arabella was finally falling asleep at the end of the episode, Arabella tells Terry, don't ever leave me again. And Terry says, I didn't leave you. And I think they were referring to Italy. So flash back 3 months ago, she arrives to Italy, to Arabella's house. They're really excited to see each other. You notice Terry is amazed. She's like, all of this is paid for. This house is amazing. So then she says, when is her time gonna come too? And she said, where's my own privilege? Where's my own privilege? Like, when am I gonna have all these things? So I think Terry is a good person. I really do. However, and I think she's a good friend, but I do think that she's one of those friends who things are not working out as well as they are for you. And it kind of causes a root of bitterness. So I do feel like we're gonna see Terry maybe not turning on Arabella, but telling Arabella you may have deserved what happened to you. We'll just keep that in mind. We'll keep moving on. So then Terry pulls out marijuana or some herbs and she cooks that with their meal. So they are high as a kite. They are walking around Italy high. Someone's caressing Arabella's face. They try to caress Terry's face. She says no. They're just walking around just high, like what we would say in Liberia, the people on opium. So they're just walking around. They go to a cafe, a restaurant, and the waiter comes to them and says, you know, do you want to order? And they were like, where's our menu? He says it's on the table. Arabella tries to pick it up. Terry's like, don't touch it, just high. A girl comes to the table, waitress comes and says, I know where to get the real good drugs. So she gives them, tells them where to go. They meet at the basketball court, and that's where we meet Biagio, which, you know, fast forward, is Arabella is the guy that she's dating. I wouldn't say that that is her boyfriend, but that is the guy that she's dating. And he kind of, in the beginning, because I wasn't feeling him in episode 1. However, in this episode, he's a good guy. He's not a bad guy. So anyway, they get some drugs from him. They go home. They're getting ready for the club. You can tell in the way that they do the drugs that Terry is the more cautious friend and Arabella is just open to anything. She goes in the bath. Terry's telling her we should do this one because the marijuana is still in our system. And then Arabella goes into the bathroom and she just meets some random people, lets them put drugs in her mouth. So we know that she's not cautious. So anyway, she's high, she's twerking, she's getting on stage. Finally, Terry is ready to go. She tells Arabella, I'm leaving. Arabella kind of doesn't hear her. Terry just walks off. She's like, I'm out. So when she leaves, Arabella's still partying, just partying, living her best life. She's after the club is over, she's looking for her friend. She stays outside and watches the club until the last person, and I'm sorry I'm looking away a lot, this is my first video. So she's waiting until the club is empty and she's looking until the last person comes out. So Biagio kind of decides to wait with her, which is good because I think he can see the kind of state that she's in, and she probably will need a lot of help. I mean, on her way home, she drops her keys, he picks it up, and he's just a good guy. And so Terry is also walking home. Terry's walking home, and we're just gonna call them, you know, Italian number one, Italian number two. There are two guys standing together. Obviously they know each other, very familiar with each other. They see Terry, one goes back into the club, the other stays out and follows her and says something corny about Mountain Dew, and that gets her attention. So they sit down for drinks, and he asks her what she does or what she's doing there. And you notice again, she doesn't say, I'm an actress, I'm a working actress, or I'm a player. She says, I'm a writer. And we know that's what Arabella does. So once again, you see her kind of, I don't know if she's not jealous, but she definitely wants to be where Arabella is. She sees that Arabella hasn't arrived yet. However, she sees that Arabella hasn't arrived yet, but she knows that she's on her way, and she doesn't see the same thing for her in her career. So Terry starts talking to the Italian guy. They go into the club, they start dancing. He goes to get some drinks, and the other guy, Italian number two, comes in the picture, starts dancing with her. Italian number one says, oh, it's rude to interrupt a dance, which we know now that this is all planned. This is part of their little skit that they do with women. So she goes back to the apartment with those guys. Arabella and Biagio make it to the apartment. He gives her keys. He goes in. She tries to make a move on him. First he's like, no, no, no. Then he kind of was like, yes. And then she tells him, I'm on my period. So they still decide to do that. When she knocks on Terry's door, Terry says, you know, I have company. And she's like, okay, you know, good for you. So Terry's doing what she's doing. Arabella is with Biagio. So when Terry is done, you know, the guys get dressed and they leave, and she's under the pretense that these guys don't know each other. It's still consensual sex, however, it's under false pretenses. She's assuming that she's sleeping with two strangers, and they're not strangers. So Terry has her threesome. You know, she's kind of, I guess, proud of herself for taking a risk. She texts Kwame, who we know is another friend of theirs, and says, I just had a threesome. And Kwame, you know, I just had a threesome. She looks out the window and sees these guys walking and talking together, and you can just see that realization hit her that, oh, they know each other. I was played. So, and then the episode ends, and so we'll just see more of this, and we'll go from there. Thank you.